Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Right. So I'm doing things a little different today. Thought I'd come on camera today to talk about the final bell, the final thoughts of Dillian White's crunch match, the final hurdle, the final step before his world title shot against, well, Tyson Fury. So you would think. So let's get into this. Before I begin, I've got to mention this because if I don't mention this and if I don't talk about this, I would be absolutely selling myself short. So I'm going to do a very quick advertisement here. Let me post this out here for you all. If you can see that. DC FanDome. If you love your DC, your Batman, your Superman, you know, if you love that stuff, you want to know the latest trailers, the latest movies that are coming out, the latest new Batman game that's coming out, Justice League versus Suicide Squad game that's coming out, the latest news on The Flash, the Black Adam, all these things, DC Universe, that is happening today. 6 o'clock it starts. I know the boxing's on, but it's a 24-hour like Comic-Con, 24 hours. So you're going to get to see all the stuff that's going on in the DC Universe over 2 days, 24 hours. You know, it's a really unmissable event. It's free. Just type in DCFanDome.com, get on there, sign yourself up, and get yourself in and watching it. You know, 24 hours, you can't miss it. You really can't miss it. So I just want to do that little bit there. DC FanDome for those who are watching it. Okay. Yes, I'm going live later tonight for the Dillian White fight. So let's get in there. Who have I got? I'm going to talk to you about who I've got in a moment. I really want to talk about some issues here that are deeply concerning myself. Deeply concerning. You know, in boxing, there's a lot of BS that flies around. Now, we all know back a while before we knew that Mark Tibbs was the trainer of Dillian White. And so the story could be that Mark Tibbs couldn't make it out to camp because, you know, the young family and, you know, the coronavirus, blah, 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 all acceptable stuff. Okay, fine. So then at the time you've got Xavier Miller you've been working with anyway. He's in the gym, he's working with you. Okay, fair enough. A lot of, you know, the thing about him being head coach. Is he head coach? Isn't he head coach? People talking about whether this guy's head coach or not. Okay. So then we get the announcement. Xavier Miller, head coach. Okay. Then people getting on, you know, how good is Xavier Miller? How good a trainer is he? Of course, we've given you the inside about Xavier Miller beforehand. I've known Xavier a while now, and I've known where he's kind of been in terms of, you know, he was in the opposite corner of Dillian White with Derek Chisora. So I know he's worked with Don Charles, been mentored a lot by Don Charles, and he's had a lot of American experience in his life with his training, with the trainer he was with. So check that out, the channel, Who is Xavier Miller. So they come back to the UK. Now, come back to the UK. As soon as they land in the UK, Dave Colwell is suddenly in the camp overlooking things. Now, this is my observation. I don't know what's what. Observation. But if someone is overlooking a camp, if someone's overlooking a camp, right, and the person overlooking the camp is more experienced than the guy that's the lead coach, that, to me, I hate to use the word babysitting, but that sounds to me like that. Now, for example, let me put it this way. If Mark Tibbs was in camp with Dillian White and then they landed back in the UK, right? And then then all of a sudden you had Freddie Roach decides to come in the team to overlook things. You're like, well, Freddie Roach is a bit more experienced than Mark Tibbs. Why is Freddie Roach overlooking Mark Tibbs? Why is he checking to see if everything's okay? To me, when you have somebody that comes in like that, that's somebody who's overlooking, who's more experienced than the head trainer. To me, the alarm bells are that maybe the guy that you're calling head coach isn't actually head coach. And the guy that is getting all he's overlooking things, not to stir the boat up, but technically, Dave Colwell could be the head man. I'm not saying that is the case, but it looked like he could be the head man. Because check this out. How can, it's no disrespect to Xavier, but if you look at what Dave Colwell's done, what he's done with David Hay, what he did with Tony Bellew, there's been longevity that, he's been around. Say what you want about Dave Colwell. Some people call him sneaky and all the rest of it. Give the man his dues. He took Tony Bellew to a world title, and Tony Bellew became WBC cruiserweight champ. Say what you want. The guy's still cruiserweight champion of the world. A lot better people with a lot better accolades as amateurs with Olympic gold medals never went on and won WBC championship of the world. So we've got to give Colwell his credit for that. But the question I'm asking today is, what exactly is Colwell doing? If you look carefully, what head coach do you know who doesn't get Sky airtime? Now you work this one out. Every time you see, at the moment, the Sky that are looking in at the camp, how many interviews have you seen Xavier Miller do? How many interviews have you seen Xavier Miller do as head coach? I don't want to hear any nonsense about, it's his first time and this and that. I don't want to hear that nonsense. He's the head coach. He's the man that Dillian has put in charge. He is the head coach. He's the head honcho. He's the captain of the ship. Where is he? You like it? You like he's got the curls in it as well? The high definition doesn't show you the curls that much, but the curls are there. Right? How many interviews have you seen of Xavier Miller for the interviews? Think this out a second. If it wasn't, could you imagine Mark Tibbs with Dillian White in the biggest fight of his career and Mark Tibbs not being interviewed as they're coming through the doors? Why is Xavier Miller not being interviewed? How much of the IQ brand have you seen at, because you know Xavier Miller's IQ boxing, right? How much of the IQ boxing have you seen? This is something. Why is Sky not interviewing Xavier Miller? He's the head coach. He's the head coach. Surely you're going to talk about strategy. How's your guy been in camp? What's been going on? Back in London. You know the thing they usually do. You're in London. Training's going. What do you think? Let me ask you another question. Do you think that David Hay walking through into the bubble, a match room, he's walking through now. Do you think you wouldn't get an interview with Adam Booth? Do you think that if Manny Pacquiao was fighting in England and he was walking through the bubble, you think they would be interviewing Freddie Roach? Come on. Do you think if Andre Ward was fighting Tony Bellew in the UK and Virgil Hunter was a trainer, we wouldn't be hearing from Virgil Hunter? Come on. Well, what's all that about? So why is Colwell taking all of the limelight? And look, I'm not blaming Colwell at all. He's just doing what he has to do, or he's been told to do. Why is Xavier Miller not getting that attention? I don't understand it. So that's the first thing. Right? That's one thing I don't get. But let's put that to one side a second. Because Xavier's been in camp with him so long. How long were they in camp? So you got to think to yourself, if Colwell's face has always been shown, I just wonder if we're looking at Dillian White's trainer. I wonder if we're looking at Dillian White's trainer. Because if that was the case, and we're just trying to, let's just get through this fight, yeah? Let's just get through this fight. and ease Xavier Miller out of the way. We don't have to give any real big explanation. So it's his fighter. It's his paper. It's his pay-per-view now. Dillian White is the pay-per-view. He's the pay-per-view star. All you people in there love to jump and say, "Oh, Dillian White is pay-per-view star." If you're the pay-per-view star, do you think that Floyd Mayweather, being a pay-per-view star in Showtime, walking through, you think you wouldn't interview Roger Mayweather or Floyd Mayweather Sr.? So what the hell is going on there? So, well, that's the first question I'm just putting to one side there. Let's just put that to one side. Colwell and Xavier Miller. So there is something going on in that camp that ain't right. It don't sit well with me. Unless somebody can come up with a good explanation as to why Colwell is on the camera all the time, if he's just overlooking things. Nah, listen to me. If anyone, listen, I've been in sport coaching for over 20 years, right? From grassroots level up to international level, and success everywhere I've gone. And I can show you that success with many, many, many books of trophies and all the rest of it. The bottom line is this. If a guy comes into my camp, right, I'm the head man, and another guy comes in and starts saying, I'm going to overlook things, I'm going to ask him two questions, especially if he's more qualified than me. I'm going to ask two things. Wait, are you looking to take my job here? One, my job security will be asking. And two, what can you do in 24 to 48 hours? What are you going to do? You can't change the game plan now, which we've been working on for months. So what exactly are you going to do? I'm overseeing things. I don't know, like the decision with the gloves. Who was making the decision about the gloves? It would be interesting to see on fight night who's doing what on fight night. Are you going to see Xavier Miller doing up the gloves for Dillian White? What's going on? I don't know. But there's some question marks about that. Again, that don't sit well. You know, when Bashir, here's an example. When Uncle Bashir was with Usyk, and that last fight he had, that was on camp, there were other guys coming in, overseeing what Bashir was doing, and they were actually the people that were saying, you know what, once this fight is over, Bashir's gone. So I've seen it. I've seen it for both sides of the coin, right? I've seen it, experiencing it myself, yeah? And some snide, clever, smart moves that backfired. And I've also seen it from, I've seen it in perspective of seeing it from other people's lives. So, I mean, it all looks to me is, you know, that's a very good question here, Adam. This is a very good point. The two questions head coach should ask the overseer, do you know where the door is? And do you need to call you a cab? So it's extremely undermining. And I don't think I don't actually believe Colwell is there to undermine. But it is very, very suspect. And, you know, if a guy can't come out to camp because of the coronavirus, I get that. I understand it. So I get that. The whole Mark Tibbs thing, I get that. And you've got to have somebody else in camp working with you. And because nobody else could fly out there, I mean, does he? The question is, does Dillian believe in Xavier? At what point did he lose that confidence in his trainer? And when you lose confidence, if you lose confidence in a trainer, the question I ask is this: when did you lose confidence in a trainer? And if it's at the beginning of camp, you've lost confidence, or 3 weeks into camp, you've lost confidence. So then, who's been running your camp? So, what point did this ray of light of we need Dave Caldwell in? When did this happen? When did the conversation happen between Dave Caldwell and Dillian and Xavier? When did it happen? Was it after an argument? Was it after a training session? What happened? Why does it all seem so planned? You know, these people move the same way all the time. They don't slick about what they do. The corporate world, they move the same way all the time. They're trying to get rid of someone. Either they kind of demonize the name and try and put the situation to make the person look bad, or they phase them out. And this looks to me as if Xavier Miller has been phased out. I could be completely wrong here, but it looks like he's been phased out. That's what I think. I think Miller is the guy. He's been involved in camp working his way in overtime. I know Miller personally. But I mean, going to camp, watching work, and talk to him on the phone. So it's not a case of that. I just don't. So I don't know. You notice when Dillian Water tracks us, all the team had one but Xavier. Oh, there we go. There you go. Dillian, don't cut that sort of stuff out. Don't cut that sort of stuff. LOL. So people are seeing things themselves, but I don't want to elaborate too much on that. But I do want to go back and talk about game plans, because I believe game plan is the key for this fight. Well, yeah, but of course the game plan is the key for the fight. Game plan and tempo. Now, from what I've seen of Xavier Miller as a trainer and what he does with his fighters, pick a shot here, pick a shot there, defensively responsible, accurate shots, throw 2 shots there, spin out, throw a jab there. A lot of kind of like a slow process of breaking a guy down. If they've been training like that, slow process, breaking a guy down, much slower process of just sitting behind the jab and landing body shots, breaking Povetkin up methodically, that's one game plan. Because if you notice, and I'm very interested in body language, I could be talking absolute rubbish here, and don't take anything out. Take everything I'm saying as a pinch of salt. But when you talk about maximum violence, and you really talk about this maximum violence, whenever I hear stuff when people are really emphasizing something in boxing, I'm gonna do this, I'm coming out and I'm gonna be doing this and I'm gonna be, and then you see the fight and the guys behind the jab boxing scientifically. I don't get the impression, I could be completely wrong here, but Whyte talked about being very aggressive towards Povetkin and very, I'm going to show Povetkin who I am. I'm not saying you can't do that, but it all seemed very, very calm, restrained. Touch, get the touch, ignored him the first time, but you didn't even see the hand come out. Touch, respectful. There's no sort of big hullabaloo, no tables are flying anywhere. Everyone's very peaceful and sort of, keeping their way peaceful. There wasn't all that stuff that gave me the feeling of maximum violence. Do you understand? There wasn't even that, really trying to get in space. Of course, we've got the whole thing with social distancing. I appreciate all that, but I didn't feel the maximum violence. If you look at Babic and the other guy is fighting, they seem to me that you could bill as maximum violence, because something's going to happen there, the way they're talking. And the way that Taylor and Pursoon, particularly Pursoon, she wants to prove a point that she beat Taylor the first time. I'd understand maximum violence there. But this Povetkin Whyte thing, I'm not feeling that maximum violence. Not from Whyte's perspective. Not from what I'm seeing of him. I'm not saying he can't bring that violence, all the rest of it, but I don't see that. I see, to me, a guy that's going to try and box and move and counter. That's what I'm seeing. Light on your feet to move. And that would work more into the game plan of how the mindset of Miller would be to be jab, move, tie up, hit on the work on the inside, sharp punching, not so much volume punching. That's what I expect. That's what I would think if you're training with Xavier Miller, how he'd get Povetkin to fight against Povetkin. Now, if they start a slow tempo against Povetkin, does that work? Or does that allow Povetkin enough time to warm up, to get into a rhythm, and then start landing big shots? So I wonder about this. Hold on a second, what people are saying here. What about the refusal to shake at the end of the weigh-in by Whyte? Well, they didn't. They touched gloves and they touched afterwards. So that doesn't mean anything. So, I mean, Dillian came in a lot lighter. I expected to try and match Povetkin's output. Well, okay, he came in a lot lighter. What are you comparing a lot lighter to? Are you comparing a lot lighter to 19 stone something when he came on at the last minute? I'm not sure what is. He's looking a lot lighter. I mean, he came in 18 stone, yeah, but that was yesterday. What's he going to weigh today? Can he put another stone on between now and tomorrow? Today, I don't know. I mean, let's weigh him again today and see how much he weighs. I don't know. I don't think Povetkin will put much more on. I don't know. I don't know. Do you ask questions? Is Whyte really being hard done by the WBC? Don't know. Don't know anymore. Don't know anymore. Something Kubrat Pulev came in out the other day and said that Whyte refused to fight him and refused to fight Luis Ortiz. He got a WBC shot. No, he's got his shot now. So I don't know. I don't know anymore about that. Who has the better left hook and who lands it first? Whyte's on PDs, in my opinion. Okay. I don't know one way or the other. I'm not testing him. But game plan and tempo are the keys for this fight. And if it's how Whyte goes about the tempo of this fight, it really is key. How does he go about it? And when Povetkin, I mean, question mark, how good is Dillian White's jab? In the history of heavyweight boxing, the best heavyweight boxers in the world have all had a good jab. The best heavyweights in the world, they've all had a good jab. Show me a right hand, it will take you around the corner. Show me a jab, it will take you around the world. The left jab is key, sets everything else up. The left jab is key. You can keep the guy off with a jab. You can set a guy up with a jab. You can counter off a jab. You can stop a guy dead in his tracks. He's about to say, boom, you hit him with a jab. The guy's about to throw a shot, land his big shot, boom, you hit him with a jab. Knocks him back off. You just snap that neck back. Snap his neck back all the time with a jab. Really ram it back. Now, it's Dillian White's jab that hard, that fast, and that effective against a Povetkin. Don't look at the Michael Hunter fight. Michael Hunter is a different proposition. An Olympian, speed, reflexes, different athlete, different type of athlete to Whyte. Different speed, different hand speed. Sorry, none related to boxing related, but what are the tips for the curls? Looking good, bro. The curls, let me see something. I gotta do something. I'll promote. Hold on a second. Stay there a second. Let me get something for you. Wait there. Okay. The curls. Cantu. It's a coconut curling cream. Well, my hair is naturally curly anyway. Like when I go out, it'll get out more. But there you go. Commercial, Cantu, coconut curling cream. I'm sure they're going to love me for that. So there's a little bit of a... I spoke to Bashir about 5 minutes ago before I was going live. But gassed against Parker and Rivas. This is my point. Looking like no, don't. Okay, fine, but let's just have the green jacket, yeah? Let's have the green jacket. This is only juice and berries. There you go. So I am concerned about the game plan of Dillian White. What is the game plan? What's the game plan and who's inspiring that game plan? And, we have to remember not too long ago that it was Dave Colwell that decided that it was smart for David Price to pack a whole lot of weight on and to go for a walk against Christian Hammer. That's the guy who's overseeing the camp. I'm not being disrespectful. That is what it is in the heavyweight division. Soul Glow. Well, if you want to call it that. I also see Povetkin having him down. Yep, that can happen. And that will happen. That will happen if Dillian White's back is against the ropes. He has a tendency to put his back against the ropes in fights. For him to win this fight, he must keep the center of the ring. He must keep Povetkin at the center of the ring, and he must keep Povetkin at arm's length. He needs to keep Povetkin at arm's length for the whole fight. Got to keep him at arm's length. That time up on the inside, for the extra weight. Will he have the extra weight there? That's the question for the night. Game plan, buddy. You guys are funny. You guys are well funny. No, Mark Tibbs. Let's not forget this too. Yeah, I get that. White said they look in great shape. I don't think he does. Povetkin looks too thin though. You know, Povetkin, the 24 hours, you know, the change in Povetkin in 24 hours would be interesting. Asking White to work all night. Now the other thing is, when White opens himself up, when he loads up with shots, he leaves himself very vulnerable. This is not Derek Chisora we're talking here. This is a guy in Povetkin again. I mean, the age factor does come in. The age factor does come into this fight. But if you're talking about guys that have gassed between the two of them, between Povetkin and White, it's been White that's per gassed. It's been White that twice the tank has looked questionable. The Parker fight and the Rivas fight. And I know people are saying that White has got to that WBC spot, but we've had some very, very nervous moments. You look at Povetkin, yes, he got stunned in round 1 by Hunter, and round 7 he got stunned and shook again. But Povetkin's been fighting like this. It looks like he's like his trajectory is like that. If you listen to the interview I did, the show I did yesterday with Gail Falkenthal, please do listen to that. Also check out the interview that I did with Mike Tyson's former trainer, Stacey McKinley. He said that Povetkin's not a big puncher. He says, I've held gloves from Mike Tyson, Ernie Shavers, Shannon Briggs. He says that Povetkin doesn't hit as hard as any of those guys. And he just thinks that more or less White's going to walk straight through Povetkin. Ingram should either be hooking with a hooker. No, I will not be hooking with a hooker. Povetkin looking in good shape. Can't write him off. Well, I won't be writing him off. White is a fighter more than a boxer. AJ and Fury see more boxer fighters. Yes. If White loses, where does he go from here? Not back to the WBC, that's for sure. Apparently, there's a sniper on Whyte if he doesn't KO him tonight. A sniper on Whyte? What does that mean? You'll have to explain that to me. That's some other language. I don't get that. And I didn't want to sound horrible, but I think AJ and Fury are more intelligent than Dillian. Are you talking boxing IQ here? I think you said Dillian's got a lot of old school things, where he works inside and stuff. Dillian White he's a very sly fighter, very sly. He's got some old school tricks in there. You think he's better now than when he knocked out Char and Takam and them? I think he's more experienced. You know, better, more experienced. Maybe shot placement you've been practicing for so many years. Shot placement, knowing what to do. You get better beliefs in yourself. Adaptability. Fought in the UK a few times now. I don't know how many times Povetkin has fought in the UK. He's fought in the UK a few times now. So he's fought Hughie Fury in the UK. He's fought Price in the UK. Now he's going to fight White in the UK. See, he knows what it's like to fight British fighters. They know the setup. They know how it all goes. No, White is a hooker and so is Povetkin. Hooking with a hooker. You never hook with a hooker. You never hook with a left hooker. But Povetkin's left hook is more accurate. It's shorter. And yeah. Yeah, I like Povetkin's left hook more. But Povetkin's more together, you know, he's more more technical. More technical. Ingram, do you think White KOs him? No, I don't. No, I don't. It goes distance. I don't think he KOs him. I don't see him actually land that left hook on Povetkin. I could be wrong. I don't see him land that left hook. And that right hand is his right hand. When he throws the right hand, he kind of spins off with it. I don't know what they've done in camp with Whyte. So I'm expecting to see something of what Xavier Miller's been teaching him in camp. But we'll see. Definitely boxing IQ. AJ seems to adapt better. AJ, for starting late, boxing late has done well. I think it's down to he's quite a clever guy. He did well at school, very well at school. Did he? I don't know about that. But thanks anyway. Both fighters will touch canvas tonight. Possible. I think Whyte will stop Povetkin early. Well, he'll have to do something to stop Povetkin. He'll have to do something he didn't do against Oscar Rivas. He'll have to do something he didn't do against Derek Chisora. He'll have to do something he didn't do against Joseph Parker. Who has Dillian White stopped early? Who's Dillian White stopped early to come up with that prediction? I can see a White stoppage. AJ reckons Povetkin. Povetkin's got a granite chin like Dave Allen, but ref may step in. Now, the right hand is what dropped Povetkin. And the right hand, straight right hand, was what Joshua Cook Povetkin was. It was a straight right hand that was giving Povetkin problems with Michael Hunter. It was a straight right hand that was giving Povetkin problems when he fought Klitschko. But it's also a straight right hand that gives Whyte problems through the guard, straight through the middle. So through the guard, straight through the middle. That's how Parker knocked him over. And his back was against the ropes. And again, his guard was up, got hit with the uppercut through the middle with Rivas. So those are two things. Whyte very chinny. Well, he was rocked early in his fight against AJ. And if AJ wasn't rushing his punches, he was there to be stopped. And again, when he fought Rivas and Parker later the fight, you know, he just got to his feet and the bell went. If that had given us another 2 minutes, we might not be talking about Dillian White today. If Whyte has been training through the pandemic, he stops him late, okay? Whyte overwhelms him in full stoppage. Don't think clean. Xav Miller, let's discuss. Spoke about it already. I think Whyte is not chinny. I think his legs go, okay? He took 6 shots, 6 against Lucas Brown. He does not do early stoppages. There you go. Whyte keeps great distance since Lucas Brown fight. But who's he fought that's technically as good as the Olympic gold medalist, Alexander Povetkin? Do you think Whyte may miss Mark Tibbs tonight? I love the way people talk about Mark Tibbs. I love the way they talk about Mark Tibbs. Now Mark Tibbs is gone, he's like the savior. When Mark Tibbs was with Dillian White, nobody was saying how improved the fight of Dillian White was, how good Mark Tibbs was. Listen, when you want to talk about Mark Tibbs, I was talking Mark Tibbs for ages, saying he was a good trainer and you could see the developments of Dillian White. Only now that Mark Tibbs has left, of course he's connected with Matchroom, people making this big fuss about Mark Tibbs. My thoughts on Mark Tibbs is that, according to what he said, Dillian White was hard work to work with. And he did things that he wouldn't normally do. According to what Mark Tibbs said. Not what I said. So, if he was hard work to work with and Xavier's working with him, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The question is, would Mark Tibbs have got Dillian White into the shape that he's in now? Would Mark Tibbs have Dillian White? Would the game plans would be different, or would they be different? That's the question. Povetkin lands the left hook like he did on Price. Dillian is slow and methodical. Yes. Trading left hooks would be trading hooks early will tell the tale. Game plan is the key to this fight. Game plan and tempo. Remember my words. Game plan and tempo. No. What? Game plan and tempo. What time is Dillian White likely to be fighting? I think it's 10 o'clock tonight, wouldn't it? What I thought. Mark's been with White in a lot of life and death situations. Yes, he has. Everyone has been saying how White is most improved heavyweight. No, everyone has not been saying it. Don't talk rubbish. Dillian did the recent interview on Teddy Atlas' channel. Was very good. Learned a lot about him. Yes, they were talking about game plans, wasn't they? Talking about game plans. Vladimir threw Povetkin around far too much in that fight. Yeah, but in that fight, I heard stories behind the scenes that Vladimir was told in no uncertain terms, do not knock Povetkin out in Russia. And I heard that to scamper out of Russia as quick as possible. That's what I heard. Ruben Tavares gets you into good shape, but don't improve stamina. Check his fighters. Good point there. Does White have a game plan tonight? Will he revert back to slugfest like Chisora fights? I've spoken about this already. Game plan. So game plan and tempo. How fast does White come out of the blocks? Or how slow does he come out of the blocks? Is he going to box methodically behind a jab? How good is that jab to box behind? How good is Dillian White's jab to box behind? Because you're going to have to box behind something, right? He's going to have to come out and come behind the jab. How good is that jab? Is that jab good enough to keep Povetkin off him? Is that right hand accurate enough to hit Povetkin enough times to keep him off him? Huh? Is that jab good enough to keep Povetkin off Dillian White? For Dillian White to keep Povetkin off him? Is that jab good enough? That's a question, because the jab will dictate the fight. If White is able to keep Povetkin outside the jab and hit him with straight right hands, and when he comes in, cuff him with uppercuts, that's all good. But look, everyone talks about Dillian White. It's his left hook that everyone talks about. They do forget that it was a straight right hand that started problems for Rivas when White fought him. Vlad is an all-time great shutdown Povetkin game. Oh, God. All-time great in whose eyes? Jesus. Did David Haye fight Valiev in Russia? Fighting away must be so difficult. Heel box. Ain't taking the risk. Sounds like that to me. Ingram, Teddy Atlas said Povetkin is close to Russian mobsters, not to be messed with. Yes, yes, yes. If White comes at methodical, he's just giving up rounds to Povetkin. Indeed. His name is Sasha. It is indeed. What's popping, Ronald? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. So you all tell me. You all tell me. Vlad's good, not great, not for me. No, he's not for me either. All-time great. If you think like getting knocked out by Ross Purity and Lamont Brewster is all-time great, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. A good fighter, not all-time great. Vitali, I thought, was a better fighter, boxer, puncher than Vitali was taking all comers. Vitali was better than Vladimir. I'll always say that. But there you go. How many people here think that Dillian White can keep Povetkin off with the jab for 12 rounds? Consistently off the jab. How many people think that Dillian White can stay off the ropes for 12 rounds? The minute White's back touches those ropes against Povetkin, it's trouble. The minute his back goes back like this, see, this is the ropes, and he starts squaring up and going back ropes like this. That's Povetkin time. Thank you. Dillian is Lycan White is back. The Lycan White is back. I like that one. Thank you very much for the super sub there, super chat there. Appreciate that, Ronald. Good point. How many? I mean, you'll talk about, yeah, Dillian's going to win this fight by knockout. Okay, that's fair, and he probably could win the fight by knockout. He's a big guy. He punches hard. He's proven he's punched hard. But how many people think he can actually dictate a fight with a left jab? This is not Derek Chisora we're talking about here. Povetkin, old man him, and the heavyweight division will take an 180 turn. Yeah. Yep. If Povetkin clips Whyte, Whyte is in huge trouble. And another thing, my matter of time before they trade hooks, and I can't wait to see it. Another thing I want to say to you all is that all the experience you keep telling me about, this experience, I saw Dillian White doing the same things he did against Rivas and Parker. More so the Rivas fight. Wait, go back to look at the Joshua fight. When Dillian White gets hurt or gets hit and he gets into a storm, what he does, he opens up and trades back. He doesn't tie up and hold. If he opens up wild like he did against, like, go back to that Chisora fight. If he opens up wild like he did against Chisora in that first fight, then he's open to get knocked out by Povetkin. So my concerns are this. On the inside, see, anything, this region here of Dillian White, when it comes to Povetkin, it's all here. Put an X here. Put an X here. That's where Povetkin is most dangerous. Here. There. Right? That's where he's most dangerous. And here. Jab. See, White used to throw the jab from here, yeah? Likes to throw a jab from here. You see him, he's jab. He's like this when he boxes, yeah? And he likes to jab from here. You see him when he jabs. Not from here, remember? Here. Which leaves you vulnerable to when that jab's coming back sloppy. Like, you know, White likes to jab like that, yeah? The left took over the top here and the right hand. So Povetkin is here with the right hand. See the right hand here? White? No. When the right hand's coming from Povetkin, right, but Povetkin likes to go shift this way where he goes to throw the left hook. So he opens you up. You think he's going to go with the left hook? Bang, the right hand goes through the middle. So you shift here, right here. So you'll think, oh, Povetkin's going to throw a left hook. So he feints and brings the right hand straight through. That's how Povetkin throws his right hand. That's how Povetkin throws his right hand. Look, there, the right hand. And if you look at White's guard, his guard has been like that. Straight through the middle. Straight through the middle. So there are some problems there. So unless they've tightened that up, and I don't know who exactly he's been sparring with. Alan Babbage, I think, is sparring with. Who else he's been sparring with? You know? Would be a great achievement for Sasha beating top 5 at 40. Well, I think he beat Hunter. So I don't know what you're talking about. I think he beat Hunter. He beat Hughie Fury. He knocked out David Price. I think Sasha's been doing quite well for himself. I forgot White when this was Marzvac. I'm having second thoughts about the KO now. If Dillian beats Povetkin, everyone will say he's over the hill and washed up now anyway. Well, I won't be saying that. I won't be saying that because he didn't look washed up and over the hill when he fought Hunter. So, you know, how many people here think Dillian White can beat Michael Hunter? If Chisora boxed and not got silly, as he does, he could have gone distance with Dillian. Well, I told everyone that Dillian was going to knock out Derek Chisora anyway. But that, you saw what happened there. White is a durable guy, and White was not in good shape. I wouldn't take too much from that. Ah, what a fight. Now we're talking about a fight tonight. Alvarez versus Joe Smith Jr. 12 rounds, WBO Eliminator. Yes, to fight my boy. I love my boy Bivol. I think Bivol's the best light heavyweight in the world. He still has to prove that, but I believe he's the best light heavyweight in the world. That's what I believe. Right. Did White respond to Dubois? Ain't beating Hunter either. Dillian versus Hunter. Now that's a hard thought. Can he beat Hunter? Can he beat Hunter? How did WBC mandatory block the undisputed unification? Does it? Do you think Dillian would be too big for Hunter? Jesus Christ. Moving swiftly on. So, Whyte. Ustinov fought Hunter, didn't he? How big was Ustinov? I'll leave that right there. Sean Porter fighting too. Yeah, good. I'm hyped for Alvarez Smith fight. Too big, bro. What's going on? Hunter's not small. Of course he's not small. Yes. All good, Lawrence. We're just talking about the fight. Dubois' next opponent is a cruiserweight. Now shocking matchmaking. Not really. Not really. You just want to secure the money against Joe Joyce. Why would you go and put Dubois in with a guy that's a bit tasty? You won't do that. You just say easy. Yeah. And that's, but he's shocking matchmaking because it doesn't prepare him for Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is going to knock Dubois out. I've told you guys that already, but we'll wait and see. Joe Joyce is knocking Dubois out. Don't look at anything about what Joe Joyce's last fight is. But Coley is bigger than Whyte, and Hunter chopped him down. That's what I'm talking about. Just remind them, please. Remind them. Remind him, please. It's a tick-over fight for Daniel. Good move for him. No, it's a bad move for him. Bad move. Why do you want to knock over another cruiserweight? What does that prove? That's like when Luz Ortiz came and fought that guy. That guy looked like a cruiserweight before he fought Deontay Wilder. I said, how is this a warm-up for Deontay Wilder? When you have warm-ups, you get guys who have similar size, similar build, similar sort of boxing style to Joe Joyce. Why would you go and pick a cruiserweight? Why would you pick a cruiserweight? What you gain from picking a cruiserweight? It's doing Dubois no favors whatsoever. What Dubois needs, you see, if you look at Joe Joyce's fight, say what you want. Oh, Joyce was getting it with the right hand. Joyce was this, Joyce was that. Joyce was fighting a live opponent, meaning that guy came to throw punches at him, and he was a similar size and stature to Daniel Dubois. That's good matchmaking. That's a good workout. And Joyce was just going for the gears, man. He was going for the gears. He was playing with that guy. He was literally playing with that guy. And then when Joyce said, you know what? I've had enough of you now. I'm going to get you out of here. He actually stepped it up and got the guy out of there. Joyce is a good fighter. Joyce is a good fighter. Hunter is most heavyweight. Of course he is. Boxing talk. Thank you very much for Ronald there. It's a last minute opponent. What are people expecting? Godzilla, as usual. It's John versus Mickey Steele happening tomorrow morning. Hot down at the Manchester Boxing Club. I love John Fury. I do love him. He's good. He's good. Whyte would duck Hunter. Wait till after he loses. Do you think Joe's a bit slow and plodding? I think Joe, I've said it before, people laugh at me. I say Joe Joyce is the British version of George Foreman. George Foreman, if he got you against the ropes and he pummels you, he'll pummel you against some ropes. Good chin, big heavy punches, an Olympian, plodding. Yeah, Joe Joyce is the British George Foreman. I've said it before and I'll keep on saying it. They had him lined up for weeks, according to Boxing Squared. Yeah, most probably. If Povetkin wins, do you think who do you think Whyte fights next? Maybe Andy Ruiz. If Povetkin wins, Whyte's career is in freefall. Listen, I've told you weeks ago that the powers that be would love to see Whyte lose. They would love to see Whyte lose. Joyce is solid. A lot of people are writing him off too easy. Yep. Copenhagen, would Dillian have chosen Hunter if Hunter had one of those Povetkin fights in his one of those Povetkin fights in the eyes of the judges? Good question. Great question. Ronald, let's see what Ronald's saying. You're tripping. Whyte by KO 11 rounds in 2 hours. Let's go. 11 rounds. Whyte's going to have to show some stamina that he's not shown in the past for that 11-round KO. Just saying something. If anything, he'd probably get KO'd in 11 because of the stamina issues he's had previously. When people make predictions like this, you've got to show me a history or a pattern of a guy stopping guys late in fights. The Chisora fight, Chisora punched himself out. Sorry. Yeah, something about Warren knowing he wouldn't fight Pfeiffer. Joyce is relentless. He throws well on the inside. Again, British George Foreman. Keep saying it. If Whyte loses, he'll see Allen rematch pay-per-view. No, you know what? If Whyte loses, I can still see a fight with Anthony Joshua happening. Somehow, some way, Joyce finds a way to win and gets to finals and medals. That's it. You forget. You know, some of you in here have a short memory, real short memory. There's a guy that's running around now, and Mr. Ruben Guerrero, the match mouthpiece, I call him. He forgets. What's the guy's name again that everyone's saying is the next big thing in the heavyweight division? Oh, I can't remember his name again. I did a preview on him as well. He ain't fought nobody of note. Oh, tall, long. I did a preview on him. I forgot his name now. I'll come back to him in a minute. Big John versus Mikey Theo, the UK version of Tyson versus Roy Jones in Asda Car Park, 8 a.m. Get your dukes up, son. Yeah, interesting. Yo. Joyce don't control his opponents like with his arms. Big George used to. George used to push opponents to control the distance. Joyce don't do that. Okay, but okay. I said he's the British version of George Foreman. I didn't say he's the US version. He's the British version of George Foreman. He's the closest thing we've got to George Foreman in this country. And if you think about it, plodding, long arms, big puncher, get you against the ropes and throw big right hands at you. Yeah, I see a lot of similarities between Foreman and Joyce. I reckon Povetkin KO late. Okay. As AJ solved his stamina issues now, I think he has 100%. Maybe not. Povetkin got better speed than White. I don't see it going distance. That's a very good point there. Joshua is being put on punditry tonight, so nothing's off limits. Yep. If he laughs tonight, if he ends up laughing tonight, then wow. Yes, I know Sergio Martinez fought last night. Gail Falkenthal gave us the preview about that. No, not other one, not him. The other one from God, not him. The other one that you like, Ruben. That you can't stop talking about him. That's fair. British George Foreman. Yeah, he is. There's a guy I keep remember. I can see his name now. Yeah, he fought Tom Little. That's the guy. The guy who fought Tom Little. The guy who fought Tom Little in the amateurs. Herkovich, that's the man. Aha! Watch people in the chat. Yeah. Herkovich is the best thing since sliced bread. He's the next heavyweight champion of the world. He's the greatest thing since Muhammad Ali. There are people that already got that line preparing, just preparing it, like you're seasoning it and getting it together. Let me tell you something. Didn't Joe George beat Herkovich in the amateurs? Head guards off. Did they not fight in the amateurs? Did Joyce not beat that boy up in the amateurs? And when the punches started landing on Herkovich and he didn't like it, Herkovich started backing up and didn't want to know. That same Herkovich. Some things don't change as a fighter. And your heart and your mentality, them things that when you punches start flying your way, guys like Herkovich, them big Eastern European fighters, when the punches start flying back their way, it's all well and good them trucking forward. When the punches start flying back at them and people start, punches start getting real, a lot of these guys, he's the real deal. Well, if he's the real deal, then Joe Joyce has got to be the real deal because Joe Joyce beat him in the World Boxing Series, right? Or whatever it was, with a head guard off. So if you're going to rate Herkovich, then you've got to rate Joe Joyce because Joe Joyce beat Herkovich. I have never understood how if a guy who everyone's touting about got his ass whooped good and proper in the amateurs, but the guy is asked the loser, everyone's rating up. But the winner, everyone's saying, oh, he's garbage. Doesn't make its own. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I don't understand it. If Herkovich is the real deal, then George Joyce has got to be the real deal as well. Yeah, you can see that. AJ and Comms, too many hooks in it. Okay, Hrgovic is trash, bro. There we go. Hrgovic. Future world champion. Look, listen. This is Ruben Guerrero's the same guy who talked about Kuzman. We saw what happened to him. And then he talks about, what's the other guy he talks about? He just got bashed up. What's this guy? Oh. What's your boy? That's the guy that just got knocked out the other day by Robert Helenius. That guy. That's another one of Ruben's favourites. Yeah, Herm will release Hrgovic for sure because he doesn't sell. You're wilding. You got to laugh, man. If not, you cry. Good jab and hits hard. Agreed, he needs a test. Croatians create basketball, not boxers, and his big ass couldn't cut in the basketball court, apparently. LOL. Kuzman beat Joyce in the amateurs. How do you rate him? Kuzman got knocked out by Michael Hunter. How do you rate him? I rate Joyce as well. Copindo 9. Hrgovic was versus Joe Joyce was 7 years ago. Probably not even relevant anymore, that fight. Well, that's a good way to describe it. But the thing is, heart, guts, balls, intestinal fortitude does not come through training. You either have that inside you or you don't. That's what I think. Hrgovic, yes. Those Joe Joyce, Hrgovic are good fighters. Kawanaki, yes. Kawanaki was another guy that Ruben Guerrero, the matchroom mouthpiece, backed heavily and said that, oh, yeah, Kawanaki, he should fight Wilder. I said, listen, if Wilder ever got his hands on Kawanaki, it would straighten him out. Straighten him out, flatten him. Rob Brandt versus Vitali, 10 rounds, middleweight, ESPN, Saturday Night Boxing. Yes, our good friend Rob Brandt, who's been on this channel before. Shout out to Rob Brandt. Really nice guy, Rob Brandt. Got a lot of time for him. I rate Hunter highly. He's underrated. I see Kuzman similar style level to Bakoli. Okay. Kawanaki. Doesn't know the American name. Don't go on, man. That's about right there. Hope Povetkin wins. Ed Ball. Hello, Ed Ball. I think a lot of people want to see Povetkin win. There is almost like half a nation wants Povetkin to beat Whyte. I think you should fight Wallin. This other thing. Otto Wallin. Is he really that good? Is he really that good? I mean, he had a good performance against Tyson Fury. But Fury thought he'd knock him over in a couple of rounds. But he probably didn't get... He probably given the wrong script. Or they probably were looking at the wrong fighter. Don't know. But Otto Wallin, I don't think he's that great. I really don't think he's that great. Do you think I walk this earth like a gold could get a big fight soon? Charles Martin, yeah. Charles Martin, Bermain Stavern. That sounds like a good enough fight. Stavern, White, Stavern, Martin, and Areola versus Andy Ruiz. And chucking Trevor Bryant and Manuel Charles in that same bill as well. Charles might look decent in his last fight, yes. Shout out to the boxing heads worldwide. Absolutely. People are too hyped about Wallin beating a semi-retired child. I know. I don't see guys like I don't see these guys like Otto Wallin. They've got to show me consistency. Man. Wallin is not great. He's a decent, similar to Hughie Fury, in my opinion, but more aggressive. Okay. How far will Bakoli go? As far as his chin and his skills will allow him to. Andy Ruiz is not as relevant as we think. No, I rate Andy Ruiz highly. Highly. If Andy Ruiz can get himself in proper shape, he'll probably be a problem for a lot of the heavyweights. A lot of problems. Has a good chin, has a nice left hook, throws good combination punches, experienced pro, he's got a good heart, been heavyweight champion a while before. Nah, If I was investing in a fighter at heavyweight and I had the Reynosos working with him, I'd back Andy Ruiz to become heavyweight champion of the world. Good chin, been there before, throws combination punches, knows how to cut the ring down. Nah, Andy Ruiz, man, I back him. Trevor Bryant is fighting Chris Lovejoy next, apparently. Well, we just had, I don't believe that's true. September the 25th, Bryant versus Char. September 25th, we spoke to his trainer only two days ago. Charles Martin, the Predator, dreads and all talk. Then in the ring versus AJ turns into Bambi. Sad. Forget that fight. Please forget that fight. The man rolled into the arena with a pot noodle. Forget that fight. The title was bought off. What do I think of Frank Sanchez? Haven't looked at him yet. Sorry. Ruiz fighting Ariola next. Yes. Oh, okay, BW team. Yes. Will get in shape Ruiz. Fix Ruiz foot speed problems. Let me ask you a question. Joe Louis didn't have great footwork. He didn't have great footwork. He was slow and plodding. But damn, when he hit you, you knew what was going on about it. So there are guys who don't have great footwork, right? But what they do, they get you into position. They walk you down. And they get you into positions. And then they put their punches together. It's not the feet you got to watch out for, it's the hands. You busy watching the feet. Watch the hands. Because Ruiz has got arguably some of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division at the moment. His hands, he's got one of the fastest combination punching in the division. If you look at Ruiz. Ruiz can fight. I ain't worried about his footwork. I'm worried about the guy who's trying to get out of the way of Ruiz, and Ruiz is super fit. You forget the combinations you put on Mr. Joshua. Do I rate Gerard Anderson? Gerard Anderson has to work on his defense. He lacks defensive responsibility. And in the heavyweight division, you can't be wild like that. So he has to work on defense. Physical strength is another I'm a bit quite concerned about. He's still young. So he better work on his defense. Because if he doesn't, he's going to end up getting clipped by guys. But shouldn't be really knocking him over. So my concern is for him. Do you think any reason why we're better off as cruiserweights? Hell no. Yeah, Katie Taylor versus Delphine Persoon. I'm going with Delphine Persoon. I'm actually going to go even further still. I'm going to go Persoon by stoppage this time round. Last time round, the part-time police officer beat up Katie Taylor. This time, she's got a full training camp and she's got sponsorship. So I think this time, I think she can stop Taylor. I really do. Ruiz far too big to be a cruiserweight. You know that. Do you think of Jalolov, the Uzbekistan heavyweight who was a stellar amateur? I don't know. You tell me what you think of him. Fabian Worley looks okay as a prospect. In my opinion, I wouldn't mind him fighting Nick Webb next. Tarachiwa, Fabian Wardley, I wouldn't mind him fighting Dave Allen next. Forget Nick Webb. Let him fight Dave Allen. That's a good fight. Katie Taylor's got some fight ahead of her. Katie Taylor could be looking at getting herself knocked out in this fight. Yeah, I'm going with Persoon stoppage. I really am. I think, first of all, Katie Taylor got beat in the first fight. And she got beat in the first fight. Check this out. She got beat in the first fight. Persoon was part-time training for that fight and still being a police officer. Now, imagine her having a full training camp, coming back and fighting her again. And she's going to be heavier for this second fight. She's really bigger than Katie Taylor as it is. So she knows she's beat her the first time. You've got all that anger and all that aggression, all that focus for a second fight. Man, you're turning Persoon into a beast. Nah. Katie Taylor's going to... I think she'll stop Katie Taylor's time. I really do. I really do. Clay or Congo? Don't know. I haven't watched enough of Luther Clay, so I'll be honest. TT, top of the evening, Lioness, already. Clay wins, but I'm supporting Congo. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, again, for those people who don't know, the time is now 1 hour. No, 25 minutes to go to DC FanDome. And you've got to be a part of this. Even if you watch the first 15 minutes, DC FanDome, it's free. If you want to know more about it, of course, it's on BWTM online, the advertisement for it. But look, get across. DC FanDome. Check it out. 24 hours of DC content, all the new stuff, the new Batman trailer, the new, I don't know, potentially maybe a Man of Steel 2, Justice League versus Suicide Squad, that's a new game that's coming out, new Batman game coming out, the new Flash movie, information about that, Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. Now listen, this is going to be an amazing event, all online, all free. Get yourself across to it. DC FanDome. Get yourself across there. Sign up. It's free. 24 hours of DC stuff, from the TV series to the movies to the comics, special appearances. It's all there. Once in a lifetime, you get it. If you're a DC fan, if you love it, if you're a Marvel fan, boo to you. But check it out. I've heard some good things about Congo. I've seen Luther a few times. He's decent. I remember talking to Chris Congo to try and say to get him a contract. With I think self-belief is something. I just hope he does well tonight. I wish the young man well. I remember watching Chris Congo fight on the small hall with on the Steve Goodwin show. So yeah, I wish him all the well. I wish him all the best. Ingram, what are the most famous guests you've had on? Have you ever approached Fury AJ Wilder? Well, okay. For the history of those who don't know about BWTM Online, we've had, well, one of the very few channels we had Hugh Fury at the beginning of his career. We had Tyson Fury live on a couple of occasions. We've had Muhammad Ali's brother on. We've had Alexander Usyk live. We've had Bivol live. We've had Keith Thurman. We've had Terence Crawford. We've had, and these are guys before they became champions, by the way. So we've had a whole list of fighters. Probably the most famous one, Jessa McCaskill live. We've had her as well on the channel. The most famous one. I'd say Muhammad Ali's brother was my most famous one. Muhammad Ali. On this one, or on this channel. But on my other channel, people such as Destiny Child's former manager, so many people, so many guests we've had on the channel. So many guests. Love that. We'll be checking it out. Please do check it out. Keaton was a great Batman, in my opinion. Keaton's coming back as Batman. In the new Flash movie, Keaton's coming back as Batman. And also, they're trying to put Keaton as in like a Nick Fury type of role. So they're trying to use Keaton for Batman. What's the Batman of the future? So yeah, very interesting. Arguably the most competitive on card. Yep. Jack Cullen versus Zach Shelley. Okay, interesting fight. Oh, and the Butterbean. Hey, did you ever see the interview I did with Butterbean? That was hilarious. Agreed. Ruben versus also Chelly versus Cullen would be a good scrap. Cullen moving up to 168. Chelly coming down, but he's not a light heavyweight in my opinion. Okay. Bud interviews great. Bud interviews were great. And also the Keith Thurman interviews. Yeah. That's great, BWTM. A lot of active fighters. Yes, there's a lot of active fighters. Oh, another one. Boots Ennis on this channel. Boots Ennis interview on this channel. Before anyone was talking about Boots Ennis, he was on this channel. Edgar Berlanga on this channel. Current, active. Porter fighting tonight. He is. Porter's fighting. Keaton was an excellent Batman. Will money be Louis' downfall? Hard to get for low paydays. I think he's been there and he's tasted it. When you taste it and then you mess up, there's only two ways it goes. Either you come back and you fight with that fighting heart again and you realize you have to fight, or it's gone. It's one or the other. I like Jack Nicholson as Joker. New Joker film was terrible. A lot of people rated it. Sean Porter, Sebastian Formella. Okay. What do you think Edgar Berlanga's 40 wins and 14 first-round knockouts? He's got heavy hands. He's got to step up, which I'm looking forward to seeing him do. Boots on here. That's very cool. Yeah, Boots Ennis. I think we had Boots Ennis on about 3 times on the channel. Imagine Femi on BWTM. Really? You know I'll be watching, of course. I think you guys put more. Guys put more stock in things than I do. Femi's already been on BWTM. Oh yeah. By the way, do check out our UFC. We've just finished doing the career of Anthony Joshua. We're currently doing the career of Tyson Fury. So check that out on the channel. BWTM UFC 4. Belanga is great to watch. He is. AJ on here would be great. What do you think of Madrimov? Think he had a bad night last fight, but looks very talented. Was that the guy that fought the other night? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at him more. Right. I need to get my ass out of there because DC starts in. The countdown is 18 minutes and 45 seconds. The DC universe opens up. Josita Lopez or Luis Colazzo. And another guy, I keep talking about him, Rashidi Ellis, the fastest hands in the welterweight division. He's been on this channel. Well, not this channel, but he's been on our other channel, Rashidi Ellis. What you have to do is look at all our old videos and old highlights. We've got them there. So, Rashidi Ellis, check him out. Is Whyte versus Povetkin aired anywhere in the States? It's going to be in DAZN, isn't it? Speedy Rashidi, man, that's my boy there. That's my boy. I thought he was going to go and do some great things, but I don't know what Golden Boy's done with him. Ellis is a beast. He is. That's my boy. That's my boy. You know what I need to do? Just for this next generation, I need to get about 4 or 5 fighters that can focus on and go for the next run to the division, to the championship of the world. That's what I think we need to do. Right. I need to get out of here. Right. All the best tonight. All the best for Dillian White tonight in his fight against Povetkin. Wish him all the best. I wish both guys all the best. Also with Katie Taylor versus Delphine. Pursoon, I really hope Pursoon gets the opportunity to right the wrong that was done to her in America and put that right in emphatic fashion by knocking Katie Taylor out. She should have been champion. I don't business. She should have been champion. Boatsi next thing coming up. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's it. Ronald, thank you so much, my friend. Bye all. Don't forget, check out the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Please share the videos. We really appreciate you. And now, by the way, do you think it's better that I do videos like this rather than do them just voice? What do you think? Let me know what you think. Let's get that countdown going. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. And also, it's not just this boxing we've got. Let me just give you this before I go. Please give us a visit. There you go. Check us out. bwtmonline.com. So if you want to get anything that's today and all the previous videos we've done, interviews, check it out. BWTM Online. Right. I am out of here. Let's get that countdown going. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. As always, we are almost... We're almost out. And check out the online BWTM store as well. We're out. Take care.